Pro Wrestling Commentary with Roman Pearson Jr.
Welcome back to Best Pro Wrestling Commentary. This is Junior here with Roman Pierce, and we're here to break down SummerSlam and Raw from last night. So, without further ado, let's get started. SummerSlam, I would give that out of 5 stars. I give it a 4.5. Me personally, only 2 disappointing moments for me really were the Intercontinental match, Big Show, Ryback, and The Miz, as well as the Divas match or Women's match. So those are my 2 low points. What about you, Roman?
Low points, I don't know. This SummerSlam I thought was it really was the epic event that they were making it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't think there was any low points for me. I think I really enjoyed the entire pay-per-view, which really says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I loved it actually. So the Miz, Ryback, Big Show match, it was okay. My only issue with the women's match was it wasn't longer. Like, I think the Team Bad got eliminated too quickly. And at first, when they mentioned elimination match, I thought it would be like the Survivor Series style where each member of the team had to be eliminated, not one person eliminated and the rest of the team is out. So that kind of disappointed me when they explained the rules. And also, I mean, as you saw, the crowd was chanting for Sasha. So since Team Bad got eliminated so quickly, not much Sasha there. So I think that kind of messed it up too. I wish there would have been a longer match. So that was my complaint about the women's match because it wasn't longer.
Yeah, I will say that, the crowd was chanting for Sasha. And it's funny to me because, what's funny about that is I truly believe that Sasha Banks is the AJ Lee of, well, I hate to say today because it was only a few months ago that we lost AJ Lee, right? But it's like she's turning out to be the diva.
Like the next big thing?
The next big thing that probably the WWE doesn't want to be the next big thing. It looks like they're pushing...
Like a Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, that's what it's turning out for me. So it's funny to see that. That also happened on Raw. But I don't know. I thought it was a great pay-per-view. I enjoyed the women's matches, even though they all came out again at once. So I'm not understanding that formula yet.
Yeah, and I like the Cena Rollins match. I think was awesome, like with the capital A. The Stewart screw job at the end against Cena. I mean, of course I'm biased, so I like the fact that Rollins won and that Cena got screwed. And then, though it left me scratching my head about why would Stewart interfere in that match, and then he came out and explained it the next night. So okay, that does make some sense there.
Well, I kept telling myself someone's got to interfere. If it's not Triple H, someone's got to interfere. Maybe it's Kane. I don't know, but I don't know. The outcome was okay. I feel like Jon Stewart botched it a little bit because he kind of went up to Cena like that, and then he turned around and went to Rollins, and then he went back to Cena.
Telegraphing.
Yeah, he telegraphed it way too much, but it was still a good match. The fact that Seth Rollins capitalized and beat John Cena to be the first World Heavyweight Championship plus USA champion.
US, yeah.
So it really made it that much special, and the fact that Cena lost even made it 10 times, So I don't know. I thought it was really good. I love that. I mean, that match itself just paid for itself, all $10.
And the Kevin Owens Cesaro match, I love that match. I mean, like I said, I think Cesaro has a bright future ahead of him. Kevin Owens, I mean, without question, has a bright future ahead of him in the WWE. The match with Ziggler and Rusev, I thought it was pretty good. I think it sets up for, obviously with the double countout, sets up for a rematch. It might even see a mixed tag team match, as well as the main event. I like the controversy with the bell. I don't think, has that ever happened before that you're aware of the bell ringer?
Well, I mean, the only time that I remember the bell ringing like that was when, the Montreal screw job.
Yeah, but that was Vince telling the bell ringer, but
right.
The guy to actually his own.
Right, as far as the bell ringer itself, no. But I mean, Vince McMahon always controls the bell ringer. All he's got to do is tell him what to do, or in the ear. But I thought that was really good when it came to story.
Because the confusion. Well, hey, it was so confusing. I was like, what in the world happened?
It was so confusing that you look at it like, okay, the timekeeper was obviously looking at the screen because he could see the angle where Undertaker is tapping out. And then you see the referee's on the opposite side, and he's completely covered, so he can't see. And he's going by, obviously, when, Undertaker did the Hell's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. A part of me, when I saw Brock Lesnar come out on Raw and he looked like he was really pissed off, I was like, wow, did they really screw him over and make him think that he was going to win? Is this the part where the Lion's entering the gray area of reality and what really happened? But I don't know. I think that's set up. I don't know. Is this setting up a trilogy for WrestleMania? What do you think?
I hope not, honestly, because I keep holding out hope for the Undertaker versus Sting matchup. So we'll see with that. Although one thing I don't like as you know, Undertaker is one of my favorite of all time. I just don't like seeing him cheating like this. Although, granted, when he was in the Ministry of Darkness, I mean, he was a evil, bad character. But I don't know. I guess the low blows and the any route to win, but he actually said, "I'll do what it takes to win," and he did what it takes. He capitalized on the confusion, low blow.
What I will say is that when you get up there in your age, you start getting senile. You start saying things, and for him, he actually did the low blow. This is my take on it. My take on the Undertaker.
He's not that old.
Well, what I'm saying is that he's a legend, and when he gave up the streak,
Future Hall of Famer.
When he gave up the streak to Lesnar, he should have gave it up. But for him to come out, to me, he looked tired. He looked like he was already, like he was winded. And then he collapses at the end for the second time.
That's probably selling them. I'm sure that was part of the act.
Part of what act? I mean...
You don't think he looks good at all? You don't think he looked good in the ring? He put on a good match?
I think he looked better than he did the first time he fought Lesnar. But I think this last time that we saw him, he looked even weaker. I mean, UFC guys have maybe 1 or 2 fights a year, and they train for 6 to 8 months up to the fight. The Undertaker only has one match.
Well, this is the second one this year.
Well, yeah, we'll give him that, and it's against Brock Lesnar. But for me, watching your childhood heroes kind of collapse and just it's kind of like Ric Flair. Like, we spoke about this behind the scenes. Like, when Ric Flair was doing this thing,
He was into his 60s.
Right, but his last, 4 or 5 years, I didn't like watching this chubby guy losing his hair, doing chops and saying, woo. I mean, dude, you're like, I want to see you in a suit and come out and do your thing, but I don't want to see my child heroes like that, no.
I don't know. I guess I still get hyped to see The Undertaker. So I'm hoping he goes out with a bang at WrestleMania.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it is setting up WrestleMania. I did say it last week that I think it was going to turn into a trilogy. It seems like it's going to turn into that. So we'll see where that goes. But as for me, SummerSlam really, really was the SummerSlam of probably the ages. I have not seen a good SummerSlam like that in a long, long time. I think the last SummerSlam that we probably saw that was good was CM Punk was probably on the card. Because I think the last few SummerSlams, if you go back, John Cena has not won a SummerSlam in a few years.
Yeah, he has a losing record at SummerSlam. So another reason why that's one of my favorite pay-per-views.
The anti-Cena SummerSlam, yeah.
And I got to give special, got to mention, of course, Stephen Amell. Usually when you see actors or celebrities and they're getting to a match, they look pretty weak. I mean, he brought his A game, especially when he got on the top rope, jumped in the ring, and stared down Stardust. I thought that was pretty impressive. Crossbody off the top rope outside the ring. I've never seen a celebrity do that, like throw their body like that.
No, I've never seen that. For someone to be a B-list or C-list actor like Stephen Amell on the show, what is it, the Green Arrow? The Arrow. I don't know. I don't watch that. I don't consider him a hero, but you know what? He did come out. He did look like a pro wrestler. So yeah, I gotta give him kudos for doing that.
Yeah, he looked a good match. I mean, he made it. I was very impressed with that. Stephen Amell, great job.
He didn't have to be carried by the other wrestlers. He actually looked like he was a wrestler or an amateur wrestler, but he was good. Yeah, I'll give you that. He was good.
Yeah. Tag team match. He had New Day, Primetime Players, Lucha Dragons, Matadores, it was good. There were any wrestling. Someone who's been watching wrestling for a while probably noticed they botched 2 moves, but overall I think they made up for it in that. And the way Kofi Kingston that sneak tag, that was very good. So New Day won the tag team, and
New Day.
I was actually surprised. The Brooklyn crowd, they seemed to like New Day. They weren't chanting New Day sucks. They were clapping along with them. And on top of that, I thought it was hilarious when they won. I mean, you would have thought they won the Super Bowl, World Series all in one. Like Kofi's unique bouncing off the mat, that was pretty. I've never seen that before.
Kofi, he's that wrestler that you're going to see him in probably every pay-per-view highlight. If it's not the Royal Rumble, he's walking on his hands or not getting counted out. He's doing something. He's a high flyer, and he knows what to do to get on the camera. Mm-hmm. And that's good for him. That's probably why he's a veteran. He's been on there for a long time. For watching New Day and capitalize and win back the gold, I think it's good for them. And I think Brooklyn was just saying, hey, you know what? These guys are vets. They've been here longer than these other teams. They deserve it. So why boo them? And I think those are really just passionate fans.
Yeah. Well, man, they are hard to please. A lot of these fans are online are very hard to please. So I was just surprised there weren't more people like ecstatic about it, like I was. There was a lot of criticism over the endings. Well, no, it was a lot of positive reaction. It's just the endings. They were criticizing the Jon Stewart ending. They were criticizing the confusion with the Bell ending. Actually, I like that. I mean, that was the first we've ever seen a timekeeper take the initiative and ring the bell. So,
do you feel that any of those things took away from the matches themselves?
No, not at all.
No. I don't think so either, because I mean, what did they want to see? Brock Lesnar knock out the Undertaker, with his fist? I mean, I thought it was really good. It sets up a future match for people that want to see it. Obviously, I'm going to see it because it's the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar.
But I mean, had Undertaker cleanly beaten Brock Lesnar, they would have been furious.
They still would, yeah. There still would have been. There's always going to be controversy, and that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was SummerSlam in a nutshell. Send us your comments, videos, whatever you think. We'd love to hear it. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the Raw segment, because that was almost an epic pay-per-view in itself. 3 hours, but not a pay-per-view. But it seemed like one. What do you think? It
had the feel of a Raw after WrestleMania, because those are legendary for greatness. The crowd's always into it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this was I thought it was awesome from beginning to end. Like, I loved the beginning when Brock Lesnar came out. And Bo Dallas, which I think he's hilarious. I know most people don't feel that way about him. Exactly. That believe to me is hilarious. And, I mean, people may think he doesn't have much of a future. I mean, I think with the right booking, the right character, he could have a good future ahead of him.
It was like a big slap in the face for him to come out there. And to have the cojones to come out there and say, it's okay, you'll get it one day, you just have to... that was just funny. Funny.
Or when he said, when the Undertaker put you to sleep, I'm sure you had a dream where you actually won the match.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
But then you woke up and realized you lost.
Now, was that the Riders or was that Bo Dallas? I think it was Bo Dallas, but if it wasn't Riders, kudos to them. That was hilarious.
But as soon as you came out, you knew he had a beatdown coming, because JBL was like, this is the stupidest man on the planet, or something like that.
The only thing that I took away from that I didn't understand was Paul Heyman kept pushing Lesnar to go back and give him another one and an F5. I wonder if they're going to put that in a storyline, if someone's going to come out and say, oh, Heyman's the one that controls you. You don't have a brain. I don't know. What was all that about? Was that just for show?
Playing to the crowd, because I did like it when he gave him 3 suplexes and the crowd asked for one more. He did one more, walked back. Heyman's like, come on, just one more. Did the 5th one, left. Heyman's like, come on, F5. So it was playing to the crowd bit, because, I mean, Lesnar needs Heyman. As much as I love Lesnar, great wrestler, his mic skills are not that great.
They're not, and then when he yells, he gets very high-pitched. I'm going to kill you!
Yeah.
What's up with that, Brock? I don't know.
So, I mean, he needs Heyman to be his mouthpiece.
He needs Heyman, but moving on to the next segment, and...
the Wyatts, so we got a new member of the Wyatt family so the Wyatts fought Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, so pretty much a rematch from SummerSlam. Now, that match was pretty good until they introduced, hope I don't mispronounce this guy's name, Braun Strowman. So, something along the... But he had the black sheep, so the black sheep had that sheep mask. Actually, I thought that sheep mask was pretty cool.
Did you think that it was Eric Rowan at first, or did you automatically know that was someone else?
I thought it would be Rowan. When they went black, I was like, okay, Rowan's going to appear, and... It was some guy like, okay, who's this? Even the crowd was like, who are you? Who are you? Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah. I thought that was an amazing moment. Now, here's the thing. If they capitalize on this guy and he has talent and he goes far, that is going to be a WWE moment that we're going to see on a WWE network in 5 or 6 years. And we're going to look back and say, oh, remember this? Oh, that was classic. Why can't wrestling be like it was back then in 2015? Because that was a really, really great moment, which just solidified the Wyatt family. I kind of feel sorry for Eric Rowan. Is he gone? Was he not good enough? Is he coming back?
I don't know. I think he's still under contract. I mean, you saw when they split up, they tried to do Luke Harper and Eric Rowan as singles.
Yeah,
but they didn't cut
work.
it.
The way that he demolished Roman Reigns. I felt sorry for Roman Reigns because here's a guy who maybe not even less than 2 years ago, he was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the face
until his injury.
And look how far back he's gone. Even though he still does pay-per-views, he still does good matches. But the fact that he clearly isn't the one that they're going with, obviously they're going with Rollins, and then for him to come out there and basically just kind of get belittled on television by this new face character, and also Dean Ambrose, kind of made me feel like, wow, this is what the Shield has come down to. And then you see Rollins on top with the 2 belts. It's almost just like, wow, only one guy really capitalized off the Shield if you think about it.
Yeah, but they're both pretty popular, especially Ambrose.
No, they are, but I mean, then why throw them in that situation? I mean, obviously, I guess you need a feud, but it also makes me wonder, if the Wyatt family has 3 members now, does that mean we're going to get a 3rd member in the Shield? If that's what they're going with, why else would they destroy them like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that remains to be seen. Although I hope that new guy, Strowman, has a good mic skills. Hope he's not like Luke Harper, where Bray Wyatt's going to do all this talking, because you can't have the faction going forever. Eventually, they're going to have to go their separate ways.
You know, for a split second, I thought that was Luke Gallows.
Me too.
Because I was like, oh, they bring Festus back, and he's on steroids. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that crossed my mind too when I saw that. And I thought Mike Knox, because it did kind of look like Mike Knox until he took his mask off.
Now, moving on to the women's match, what did you think about that? Was that a repeat from the SummerSlam pay-per-view?
Yeah, that women's match, I mean, it's just the coming... If they're just going to do a weekly 3-on-3 tag team, and then Nikki Bella's bragging about the belt, but she hasn't defended it for like 2 months.
Exactly. There's a division now that she can challenge someone, or someone can challenge her for the title, and instead they're doing these 3-way tag teams. Makes no sense to me.
I mean, the crowd wasn't into it, and the "We Want Sasha" chants were loud.
I feel like it's a blatantly disrespect to the fans, because they're just like the WWE saying, we're going to give you what you want, we're going to give you the women wrestling that you want, but we're going to do it on our own accord. And that just makes it boring. And as you can see, the Brooklyn crowd was even, when they were in Minneapolis and they were wrestling, the Divas they were chanting for Lesnar. And then this last time, they weren't really into the crowd either. They were chanting for Sasha, and she wasn't even there.
Yeah, they were chanting Sasha, they were chanting "We Are Awesome," they were chanting "Boring." So, and honestly, like this said, the Bellas, I think they're better than what they were wrestling-wise, but they're not at the level like a Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Paige, Sasha. Like Naomi, I mean, I think her mic skills may not be the greatest, but she can wrestle.
Well, I think with the Bellas is that they've never actually had competition. They've never actually had another stable to come after them and put them in their place so that you can feel like, wow, this is a great feud like you had with Edge and Christian and the Hardys and so forth. So I think that if Paige and
Becky Lynch,
and Charlotte, I think if they come back and they do this feud together, but that goes back to what we're saying. If they stop doing this 4-way 3-tag, matches, and they do it 3-on-3, stable versus stable, I'll be the first one to say this, though. I am starting the hashtag Give Sasha Banks a Chance Revolution. So make sure you hashtag that.
And now one of the first exciting moments of the night was the Lucha Dragons versus New Day. Only because after the match, we got to see the return of the Dudley boys.
Oh, yeah.
I was not expecting that at all.
Junior,
get the tables! Oh man, the crowd loved that. And then to see them, I thought they looked very good. I mean, didn't look like they aged at all from the last time they were there in 05. Nope. And so, it's got to feel good to come back. I mean, no disrespect to Impact Wrestling, but
to what?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, no disrespect to that wrestling federation, but WWE is the top dog in the world of professional wrestling.
Top tier.
So, all these other federations, I mean, it's got to be cool to come back to that massive audience compared to TNA.
Absolutely, and obviously that's why they're back. The money's better. What else are they going to do? They're not going to go and do brain surgery. They're the best. Probably one of the best tag teams that it has ever existed. They modified the way that hardcore wrestling, WWE made it commercial with the ladders and the tables because of these guys. Mm-hmm. So they're pioneers in their own right. So when they came out, I just turned into a little kid, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I kept telling myself, I hope this isn't just a one-time deal.
No, I looked it up. They got a multi-year deal. They'll be full-time. I want to say on SmackDown, they're going to be fighting.
Multi-year deal. And what I thought was great is after the match, they get kind of in the face of Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, and they're like, do you know who we are? Do you know who we are? Yeah, of course they know who you are. And they just thought that they were on top, and they're going to capitalize because they're getting a big push. And then here come the Dudley boys. Hey, anything can happen in the WWE.
And that was awesome because I think the tag team division is in a lot better shape than it was just a few years ago. So this just injects even more credibility into it. Similar to what I think, remember where, was it early 2014 when the New Age Outlaws came back? I think they did that because it's kind of the tag team division wasn't doing so hot.
Well, it's kind of to show the newbies, hey, this is how it's done. Maybe it was part of the coaching method. I mean, you do see that Billy Badass, he is part of Tough Enough.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely he's a mentor. Could have been what they were doing.
I mean, I was already excited about the tag team division. And to add them to the mix, I mean, I thought that was great. And I once the Usos come back.
And see, back to the Divas division, the only way we could get the same feeling is if AJ Lee came back, because there's no one else. Well,
Trish or Lita.
You're right, Trish or Lita. Maybe even Sunny. I don't know.
Or Mickie James.
I wasn't that big on Mickie James, but she can wrestle. She's a wrestler for sure. Gail Kim. Yeah, if she came back, that would be hot. And she actually left because she said she was bored of WWE. Yes. She was there because obviously they just had her as a calendar girl.
And she went to a second tier.
But she's making money. She's happy, and that's what it's about. It's about the passion.
She's a great wrestler.
It's just like Johnny Mundo now, Lucha Libre, right? Had to do what he had to do in his own right.
Okay, and then we have the match that was the 4-on-4 match. Guess of course one of the highlights of the match, the crowd giving it to Big Show.
Oh yeah, retired already, and that's how I feel.
You really, the man's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a legend.
He's one of the last people that actually wrestled on Monday Night Nitro.
Right. John Cena is a Hall of Famer, but I know you want him to retire. What's the difference?
But he's just a legend. He was in NWO.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is that I feel like we're oversaturated with the Big Show. Go away for 6 months and then come back and do something special. That's just how I feel. It just makes it boring. Even the audience is just like, you're boring, retire. I mean, come on, go away for 6 months and they'll like you again.
But you think he's taking that personal?
I think he is now. He probably feels like, I was part of the Raw Attitude era and all that stuff. Which he was, but this is what they forget. There's fans who are 15, 16-year-old kids who know nothing about that era. It means nothing to them. So, go away for 6 months or give him a different role,
Yeah.
They put Kane in the back burner and finally they gave him some time off.
Which I think will be cool, because I think when Kane returns, if he returns as the big red monster with the mask and everything, I think that'd be awesome. That'd be good for him. Which I hope that's what they're doing. I don't want to see him back in a suit again.
I don't know. I think Kane's done. I hope so. But then again, they keep making...
You don't like Kane either?
I like Kane, but like I said, it gets stale. I don't want to see... I don't know. I bet John Cena fans don't want to see him wrestle when he's 60. Come on. Let's move on to fresh new blood. A few years ago, there was this big deal about people saying, bring new people, new talent, new blood. And I feel like they're doing that, but then they're still holding on to fossils.
Wait a minute.
Let's put them in a museum where they belong, and we can appreciate them from there.
No, but I'm just saying you need a mixture of the young and you need a mixture of the veterans to mesh well. You can't have just all young people and you can't have just all older people, which as you saw with WCW, that was their downfall. They focused so much on the older guys that the younger guys got fed up, and where'd they jump ship to? WWE, which...
That's true, but that was also Ted Turner's money, so I don't know.
I know, but I'm saying, but you see what happens. You can't have, you got to have a good balance of both, the young and the older.
Potato, tomato, I don't know. Potato. So anyway, what's the next segment on Raw that you were enthused about expressing your love for?
I'm glad that Stewart came out and made it explain, because that was probably had my head scratching after SummerSlam.
The only thing I didn't like about Jon Stewart coming out and explaining that situation was when John Cena came out, because, and I'll tell you why, it's not just because of John Cena, it's because of what he said. He comes out and he basically tells Jon Stewart, you know what you did? You took the title away from me, so now I can't showcase the young talent like Dean Ambrose and the Wyatts and Cesaro.
Like they had nothing to do on their own.
Exactly.
Like they didn't make themselves talented.
Absolutely. It made me feel like John Cena is basically saying, I need this title so that the other wrestlers can be relevant, so they can wrestle me and they can look better because they're wrestling John Cena. To me, that was like a slap in the face for all the wrestlers in the back. What are you saying? That's how I took it. So I just hate his promos because he has nothing to say. It's just, I hate it. Go away. And you know what? You lost, so don't come back.
Yeah, and then Flair giving him his blessing, which I was kind of hoping Flair would
slap him.
Yeah, or would say something like "thank you."
But again, I don't know. I get it. That's his friend, and he mentored him or whatnot. But I don't get it at all. I just don't get that. John Cena needs to go away, and I think they're slowly, maybe like the King, they're trying to backpedal him away from the scene. It seems like it.
Mm-hmm. And now one of the biggest moments of the night, of course, was the unveiling of the statue. Although I'm surprised they only have 3 statues. Andre the Giant, Bruno Sammartino, and the Ultimate Warrior. I guess making statues is something pretty new. So, I mean, I can think of a couple other names they need to make a statue of. But anyway, back to the statue. So we got to see the statue, and then Cena was gonna, because I thought Cena was gonna interfere, and they had him kicked out. Which usually in wrestling that was odd, because usually when someone's kicked out or escorted out by security,
they come back. They find their way back.
Exactly.
Under the stand.
So any wrestling fan, they've seen that a million times, where someone's escorted out and they come back at the end of the show.
Like Stone Cold, he's been escorted so many times and arrested and handcuffed and zip tied, and he always made his way back. So
yeah,
I guess we were waiting for John Cena to come out in some kind of big John Cena John Deere truck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, so that one, that's just as predictable as the contract signing turning into a brawl.
I had a feeling that somebody was going to come out, and a part of me was saying, okay, somehow Cena's going to get Seth Rollins' statue, break it apart, and come out of that box and start beating him up.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So when they lifted it up and it was Sting, I was going crazy because I wasn't expecting that. So the Dudley boys and Sting, I was shocked. Because I purposely try not to read rumors anymore because I do enjoy being surprised, but I don't even know if those are rumors out there. If the rumors were out there that they were going to be there.
I don't know. I didn't see that. I know they were teased The Undertaker or Sting coming back for
SummerSlam.
Yeah, for SummerSlam, but when that happened, it was just like, wow. It was like, and he looked so good. He looked thinner. He looked better shape. He was faster in the ring. And obviously Seth Rollins is really good at selling, getting beat up and whatnot. But kudos to that, because I was kind of looking forward to another Sting versus Triple H. But I would rather see him wrestle Seth Rollins because I think it'll be such an even greater match than wrestling Trips.
And then him holding up the belt like that, I loved it. I know you're going to have fans that are going to be mad about this guy's too old to be holding the belt. But I wouldn't mind, honestly. Yes, I know I'm biased as a kid. He was one of my favorites. So I'll always like Sting. But, to see him being able to be the WWF champion, WWE champion, World Wildlife Fund, that'd be awesome.
I think there was speculation, would Sting ever hold a WWE World Heavyweight title? And for him to come out and hold it up in the air, it was kind of reminiscent of when The Rock came back from Hollywood and he was just like, one more time. And I think he's going to get it, which is kind of sad and bittersweet at the same time.
Why do you think it's sad?
Well, because I want him to win it again and again and again, at least 2 more times, not just once.
Do you think he has in him to be a full-time wrestler?
I would like to see him wrestle again. If The Undertaker can come back and have a heart attack with Brock Lesnar,
dude,
once or twice a year.
Come on, what is this Undertaker bashing?
Sting, who is in more shape, better shape.
He's 56. That is amazing. I want to know what vitamins this man's taking.
Not the ones that Hogan took, apparently. But I think that it would be good for him to win at least a second time. That's what I would like to see. I think it's possible.
So you want to see him as a 2-time champion?
At least a 2-time champion. He could even be the United States champion.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I think he looks like he has the body and the build for a full-time, or at very least like a semi full-time run. Maybe he doesn't have to do like the house shows or live events, just be at the actual shows.
Well, see, this is what it brings it down to. Seth Rollins has 2 titles, so which one's he going to lose? So if he wrestles Sting, is he going to lose a World Heavyweight Championship, or is he going to lose a United States Championship?
Although I can see him doing being like the weasel that his character is.
Swerve.
Like someone beating Rollins, and then Triple H and Stephanie's like, good job, you won the U.S. Championship.
Exactly.
So, because the next pay-per-view is actually Night of Champions.
Right. So that's possible for him to do that. But I think he still wants the title. He deserves the title. That's just another way for them to pull a ruse and make the fans say, I got you. You thought he was going to be the World Heavyweight Champion, but he's not.
But I love seeing him holding that belt up. And you heard the crowd just went nuts. So, overall, I mean, that Raw was awesome. I always thank this man. This man always had faith that Sting would be in WWE. For years, I told him to quit dreaming. So, he was right. I was wrong. So, with that being said, always remember to check us out, Best Pro Wrestling Commentary. Subscribe, like our Facebook page. Subscribe to our channel, as well as always send us your comments. And keep on the lookout for my upcoming video, my 5 favorite wrestlers from childhood, which will be the first of many of videos between me or Roman Pierce or us together, just videos about wrestling and wrestling history. So, until next week, I'm Junior, this is Roman. You have been watching Best Pro Wrestling Commentary ever.
Now get out of here.